What if you could speak your interview answers and get instant AI powered feedback without writing a single line of code? Today, I will show you how to build a voice interview coach using VAPI, Make.com, and ChatGPT. So let's dive into the actual implementation. So first, what we want to do is we want to create an assistant in VAPI. So if you don't have an account in VAPI, you can click on the link down below in the description. It's completely free to sign up, but then you need to add some credits to your account before you can actually start testing your voice agents. So what you need to do is basically once you have an account in VAPI, you need to click on this button, which is Create Assistant. And in here, you need to give a name to this assistant. And after this, click on the button to create an assistant. So the first thing that we need to do when we create an assistant is to choose the model that the agent is going to use. So in this case, we're going to use OpenAI, and after this, for the model, we're going to select GPT-4o Mini. So the first message mode is going to be set to speaks first by default. And then the first message that our voice agent is going to say is this one. Hi, welcome to your mock interview. How are you today? And after this, we basically have this system prompt. So the system prompt is telling what the agent should do. And as you can see, this is basically our AI interview coach agent. So we're giving it some details about what questions it needs to ask and how it needs to behave during the interview process. So basically, there will be a tool that will be mapped behind this agent, and this tool will be responsible for calling our make.com scenario. So the name of the tool is basically get feedback. So we're going to take a look at this tool in a moment. And here the three questions that our assistant is going to ask during the mock interview. You can add as many questions as you like, and also instead of having your questions hard coded in the system prompt, you can probably get them from like an Excel spreadsheet or any kind of document that you might have. And after this, what we need to modify is the temperature. So I've set the temperature to zero point 0.2. So once we have configured the model, then the next step is to go to the voice section of the AI agent. So what we want to do in here is we want to select VAPI as the provider, and then you can choose any voice that you like. So there's female, male voices, different accents, and yeah, you can choose the voice which suits your needs the best. And then for transcriber, by default, it's the Gram English. So if you're building a voice agent in a different language, then you need to modify this. And the last thing that we need to do is we need to go to the tools section of the AI voice agent. And then from here, we need to select the tool that our voice agent is going to use. So as you can see, I've already assigned this tool to our AI voice agent. It's called Get Feedback. So in order to create a tool, what you need to do is you need to click on the tools menu. So here on the left hand side, you can see that there is tools in the menu. So when you click on this, you'll be taken to a new page. And then what you need to do is you need to click on Create Tool, and then you need to select Function. So once you have done that, then you need to give a name to this tool, and then you need to say, you need to give a description to this tool. So you need to basically describe what this tool is supposed to do. And then if you scroll down a little bit, the tool takes parameters. So this is basically the information that will be passed from the AI voice agent to the tool. And in our case, we want to pass the user responses to our tool. And last but not least, you've got the server settings. So this is the URL from the make.com scenario. And this is exactly where the information is going to be published. So when our voice agent gets a user response, then what it's going to do is basically it's going to publish this user response to this URL. And then we're going to look at the make.com scenario in a second just to see what components we need to create and how it should work. So that's pretty much what we have in VAPI. So the next step is to go to make.com. So if you don't have an account in make.com, you can click on the link down below in the description. It's completely free to sign up, and you also get 1,000 free operations per month. So you can create different scenarios, you can play with make.com until you're confident that you can build a system that actually works. And once you're inside make.com, what you need to do is you need to create a new scenario. So once you create a new scenario, then the first component that you need to define is called webhooks, and it needs to be a custom webhook. So when you click on this, you will see that when the webhook is created, it's going to give you this URL, and this is exactly the URL that you see in the tools section in VAPI. So you can see this is exactly the same URL. And once you have this URL, then basically, yeah, you need to copy this and paste it into the tools section in VAPI. So basically, this is where all the information, all the user responses are going to come. And once we have the user response, what we need to do next is we need to define this OpenAI or ChatGPT component. And this component will be responsible for basically taking the user response and passing it to OpenAI for processing. So you can see in here, we are basically creating a chat completion. We're using the GPT-4o mini model again, and we're adding some messages. So the one and only message that we want to add is basically going to have this role, which is developer slash system. And after this, what we need to do is basically we need to tell OpenAI what this user response is about. And finally, what we want to do is we want to pass the candidate's answer to OpenAI. And this is going to come from the custom webhook that we've defined in the first step. So once we have done this, then we can move on to the next component. So once this OpenAI component has run, it's going to return a response based on the user's answer. And then what we need to do is basically we need to return this response to our voice agent and make it available so that our voice agent can pass on the information to the candidate. So this is how we define this webhook. So it will be again a component of type webhooks, and then this time it's going to be a webhook response. So in the webhook response, we've got different pieces of information. So it's going to contain a dictionary, and then it's going to have one element which is called results. And then inside the results, what we're going to do is we're going to define a list which has one dictionary, and then this dictionary has the actual response from ChatGPT, which is under result. And then this one is the tool call ID, which is the ID of the conversation that any particular user slash candidate is having with our AI voice agent. And you can get this ID from the first component. So you basically go to message.tool calls and then you get the ID. And once you have defined this webhook response component, then you should be in a good position to start testing your interview coach. And what you need to do is basically you need to enable this scenario so that it runs every time it receives some data on this webhook. And there's different ways on how you can test your voice agent. So one of the options is to talk to the assistant using this button from VAPI. And then the other option is to buy a number from Twilio, for example, and then you can call a number, and then when basically when someone answers the phone, which will be our voice agent in this case, then the conversation will start. So if you want to understand how to buy a number from Twilio and how to assign it to your voice agent, you can watch one of my previous videos. I'm going to add a link somewhere on the screen. And this is where I explain step by step how to buy a number from Twilio and how to assign it to one of your voice agents. Okay, so let's go ahead and test our voice agent. So what you need to do is you need to click on this button, which is talk to the assistant, and then this is going to start a conversation with our voice agent. Hi, welcome to your mock interview. How are you today? I'm doing well, thank you. Great to hear that. Let's get started with the first question. What are your strengths? I'm good at communication and working with others. People say I'm easy to talk to, and I think I bring good energy to the team. I also like solving problems and figuring things out. Give me a moment. Thanks for your answer. Here's a suggestion to improve. You might want to provide specific examples to illustrate your strengths. For instance, you could mention the situation where your communication skills helped resolve a conflict or how your problem-solving abilities led to a successful outcome. This will make your response more impactful and memorable. Ready for the next question? Why do you want to work here? I just really need a job, and I heard you guys were hiring. It seems like a good company, and I think I would do well. One moment. Thanks for your response. Here's a suggestion to improve your answer. While it's great that you're interested in the position, try to focus more on what specifically attracts you to the company and how your skills align with its values or goals. Researching the company beforehand can help you articulate why you want to be a part of their team. Ready for the last question? What is your biggest weakness? I guess maybe I take too long to finish things because I want them to be perfect. I'm trying to get better at managing my time. This will just take a second. Thanks for sharing that. Here's a suggestion to improve your answer. It's great that you're aware of your weakness and are actively working on it. To make your response even stronger, consider mentioning specific strategies or tools you are using to manage your time better. This shows that you are proactive and committed to personal growth. You've done a great job today. Would you like to go over any of your answers again or ask any questions? No, thank you so much. You're very welcome. I'm glad I could help. Good luck with your interview preparation. And remember to keep practicing. Have a great day. So this was our first mock-up interview with our AI voice agent. If you want to get access to this make.com template and all the different prompts that are used in this video, feel free to join my school community. The link should be down below in the description. If you found this video useful, please like it and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to add a comment and tell me what kind of videos you want to see in the future. Thank you very much for your time and see you in the next video.